Hey everyone, this is Miss DeHoff, and I know you're taking a quiz this morning about what you've read in Attucks, as well as some of the information from the Inspired database search that we started last week. And so I'm going to give you a few tips, going to go over a few portions of this search, and just let you know that I'm available if you want to go through this a more if you have personal questions about this search, or if you have questions about the database Inspire in general, or even the book. I won't be able, like I said, I'm not going, I will be here during your quiz. Mr. Sturgeon is actually creating the quiz, but you should know by now that I know the book sort of well. And so if I can assist you, at least in terms of clarification for a question, or maybe something that's not clear, I'll be available today. So anyway, last week we looked at the Inspired database, and which is, just a couple of keystrokes away, inspire.in.gov. It's a database that's been around, and to assist Hoosiers for and anyone who lives in this state for at least 20 years or more. It's very cool. It just compiles all the databases, or some useful databases that people need in their lives, and they put it in one spot, and they do it all for free, in a roundabout way. It's paid for by our taxes, but it's very cool. It's for the good of all. So anyway, inspire.in.gov. Every state, or many states, have databases like this. I started off looking at this Inspire database search with you, at least in terms of showing you how to use it and where to look on Inspire to answer the first 15 questions. And then today I was just going to give you a few tips on how to proceed and how to focus. Um, just as a general reminder, I know you don't have me as a teacher or know me really, but I'm not a gotcha kind of instructor or educator. I really do want you to know how to use Inspire. I do see value in it. And I think that if I can give you some tricks and some ways, some education on how to do this, hopefully you'll be able to apply it to any database that you come across in the future. And as much as I know about technology and database, and just like general, um, just like where things are going in terms of what I like to research, it seems like these aren't way. So you need to learn it, and you need to see how it can better your life. So we stopped on 16 when we were in this packet, and the first page, this is where we're actually at. And this is Inspire. And so for all of our searches, I have been using Crispus Attucks, or at least for the most part, just because it is one of those searches that will generate um, different types of hits depending on what you give the computer, basically your wording and how you use your filters. And so for the first part of this packet, we actually started with this area, the research starter. I ask you from the very beginning how many results you get, and then we start looking at the research starter. And I like the research starter because it has a lot of the same features that you'll see if you click on any of the results. They'll show you, general information like title, who wrote it, the source that it came from. It will give you some ways to modify this information in terms of you can choose a language, you can have it read to you, and depending on what type of way you want to look at it. It can have more or less pictures or more links within it to just enhance what you're learning about the topic. So this also shows you to use the tools, and really the exercise in going through that is just to show you that there are so many ways to save your information when you go through this, um, in addition to being able to get a citation, which is nice because a citation can take a few minutes to make yourself. And sometimes that information is not straightforward. So if they're going to give it to you, I say take it, because if you continue to go to school, you will not always have citations made for you. So I say take it if you can. But that covers the first part of that packet. And then we look at these first 5 hits. And that really covers the first 15 questions of the packet. Now, today, and that's what we did last week. Now, today, we're going to at 17, I think, through 25. And this focuses on 2 different pieces of Inspire. It really looks closely at the filtering, and we filter by format, meaning different types of a format is, I guess the synonym that keeps coming to mind is delivery, or how the information is delivered to you. So like what you hold in your hands, how is it compiled? So magazines, I'm sure many of you have at least been in a place with magazines, whether or not the adults in your life buy them. There's news, as in newspapers, news sources, reviews when other people are looking at the text and giving or the media and giving their opinions, essentially. Academic journals, where we have mainly academics speaking for other academics and compiled and so forth. So these are different types of ways to organize the information. And you'll see also that they are reinforced by these little pictures that are next to the hits. So kind of 2 different ways that'll help you keep track of that. And you might recall this from last week when I asked you what type of format it was for 3 of them, and they were all reviews by different people for the same um, title or piece of media. Next, we have topics. So filtering by topics, you can click on one of these boxes or a show more to really hone in on what you are interested in terms of what to tack on to your crisp static search to make it more deliberate. We have a reading range. Reading range is really just applies to, you might be familiar with the term of Lexile score, or difficulty in types of language and sentence formatting. But in general, this is harder. This is this has a lower difficulty. And so they apply different. I do have big opinions on all of this, but it is a way but that's not why I'm here. But if you want to read more about or know more about the reading range, you'll find more difficult um, texts in this range versus down here, even though this too could be challenging. A lot of the hits that you're going to get will be challenging for the most part, because they're not, I don't know, is probably something they should work on. That's as far as I'll go. Next, we have different languages. Most, as you can see, are in English. Undetermined. I looked at this a little more closely with a real student, and she and I realized that undetermined is just English. So we don't. And again, that's as far as we went with that. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it is a computer. And then we have database. I don't ask any questions about databases, but these are different types of databases that are probably keeping track of other databases. It's sometimes There are only so many words you can use to talk about those. So anyway, looking at the filters, including this one with the timing, that will be really what you look at with questions 16 through 20. I just really want you to just get your fingers wet, or you're just whatever you're just want to familiarize you with that. Then you'll go back to inspire.in.gov. And if I ever say that, what I'm talking about is just click on this, click on this, it will take you, or if you're here, click on this. This is generally like a website thing, as you probably know. But if you type in Crispus Attucks again, the final questions that I have are related to the advanced search. And the advanced search button can be found right here. So if you click on advanced search, you have the and, the or, the not. That's really what I want you to play around with. And I want you to play around with different words. So you're going to type this in. For the first part, I ask you to type in Crispus Attucks High School. So you would need to add in a space high school in the quotes. But outside of that, and then you start to play around with this, add different words, and then you're going to see how many hits you get. And again, I'm just trying to emphasize that words matter, and you are going to generate a different hit depending on or a number of positive results if you are deliberate in your search terminology. So yes, this will take you to the very end, and that is that. So hopefully you've become a little more familiar with Inspire, and I talk about it a lot. A lot of librarians talk about it a lot, but it's because it's important. And as long as I'm working in this state, I will be an advocate for it. So challenge yourself, try to use it for different things. And I'll talk to Mr. Surgeon to see how we'll be using this over the next couple of weeks, if at all, but hopefully something else. So good luck today. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.